All right. Yeah, that's right. I'm back, boys. Back as the Macnus monster in the full, frightful, like, mechanic guy outfit. And so I have waited until daytime because it's hard to see things at night, hard to get good footage. And we're fortunate because we're already at 2 out of 6 juggernauts, and that's because 2 of them must have attacked while I was waiting for daytime, so cool, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. So what we're gonna do is let's make a little bit more pyro launcher ammo, and what we're gonna do is, I have no idea where to look for juggernauts in particular. I don't think there even is necessarily a looking for juggernauts in particular, other than just traveling around. So what we're gonna do is just destroy some infestations while we look for juggernauts, because might as well travel around with an objective of sorts, I suppose. And my favorite way of destroying infestations is with the old pyro launcher. Just feels like the appropriate way of doing business. You know, got an infestation? Burn your house down.
That won't work.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go ahead and use the machete, because, you know, why not? Just getting into the mood. So I guess today is technically... Wow, it's actually really dark in here. There we go. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and... Oh! I see one! Let's go ahead and finish up our work over here, though. Might as well, not gonna leave the job incomplete. So, for a prey as big as the Juggernaut, I've brought out this gun, the spyglass rifle. I mean, I could use the... What do you call it? The BFG, but I don't know. Like, I think...
big blood jug.
I think the bolt action kind of gives it this kind of, like, giant... Really? Really? The answer is yes. I gotta switch weapons. There. No, 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 leave me alone. Leave me alone. Oh, come on, they've got body armor, too. That's not fair. People with body armor, like, they don't burn. I can't burn them with the pyro launcher. Oh, this guy again, really. You're such a jerk. Such a jerk. There, that should be the enough to get him. Are you still not dead? Wow, you got a little more health than the typical feral, I see. Oh no. Having a little bit of trouble, Mr. Juggernaut? Yes, Juggernaut's there. They're not very good with these kinds of instructions. It's definitely... You know what? I could just start chopping their legs off, to be honest. There. And now they're really not worth too much. And now I can switch back to the big gun. And we'll blast them. Just like that. And might as well go for the rodeo. No! No! Why would you do that? Like, why would you, like, go past the more obvious, like, get the Juggernaut and instead get the... Whatever. It's done. I'm not even going to take those guys out, like the armored zombies. Like, that is my disdain for them. My disdain is such that I will not even do them the honor of finishing them off. They will forever awkwardly shamble with their armor weighing them down. Okay. Might as well patch ourselves up since we're really not that far away from the base. Also, I need some extra items. I forgot that I need more stims, because apparently I was using them. I'll double up my stims.
Yeah, this group's pretty cool.
Nice to know you got my back.
Okay, so, not a bad start. We got one Juggernaut so far. Let's go ahead and continue burning some of these infestations. Oh! Wow. Normally, I have to actually spend some time looking for juggernauts, but not right now. Yes. 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 More armored zombies. And we only get 25 influence from them now. Like, that's quite a bit lower. I would have gotten in the car, but these guys are going to jump on the hood of the car and start beating it up. So I'm just going to run around in a circle because we will wind up outrunning them. And I won't have to worry about them beating up the car. It'll be A-okay. Uh-oh. I don't want to... There we go. I didn't want to get another injury. Really? There we go. Out of my way. No, don't set me on fire. Oh, we wasted enough time that those stupid armored zombies... Look at this. Like, I needed armored zombies earlier when I was doing some of the other bounties and whatnot, but here I am stuck with the armored zombies. I need stamina. Give me my stamina back, you jerks. There we go. No. And here we've got Nightmare Zone being Nightmare Zone. It's like, oh god, you took 1 damage, therefore you get an injury. Maybe I should have brought a med kit with me. Whatever, we'll press on. We still got more of these infestations to burn, and so far, it hasn't led me astray. We only need 2 more Juggernaut kills. Which is pretty good. The question is, now that we got those 2 easy ones, will the game suddenly get really stank about it and not give me more Juggernauts? Who knows? You never know with how random this game is. Okay, let's go ahead and torch these infestations once again. Just always love using fire weapons. Oh man, where are the... I wish they would just kind of stick together and just let me burn them all at once. It's much more satisfying when it happens that way. Oh, there we go. I was wondering where the screamer was. This is why, like, the pyro launcher is still, like, super OP. It's like, sure, you know, oh no, they nerfed it, it doesn't kill the plague guards like it did. Who cares? Like, it's still the best weapon in the game, I'll tell you right now. Like, I don't think there is a single weapon that's gonna change how the game goes for you than the pyro launcher. It's just insane weapon. I don't know where the remaining ones are. I'm guessing you're one of them. Yep. So I'm looking for one more. Maybe it's you.
Sweet.
Yep.
I can breathe easier without so many damn infestations.
That'll stop this guy from screaming. There we go. Nice and clean. Just gotta, you know, like, so I got these basically got these roach infestations. That's basically what infestations are. It's like having roaches, except, you know, they're slightly more violent. God, I love the pyro launcher.
Yeah, that's a screamer,
super
all right.
convenient weapon. Oh, what do you know? Juggernauts. 2 of them, because it's a plague horde. Oh, they might beat my car up, though, so we will have to lure them away from the car. That seems like a smart idea. Now, if we fire at a long enough distance, we can even use the pyro launcher stealthily. Not in the sense that the weapon itself is quiet, but in the sense that the fireworks that it shoots makes more noise than the sound of the weapon shooting to begin with, and so that means they don't notice. As long as you're shooting at a good enough distance. Just yet another reason why it's such a fabulous weapon. I'm gonna try to line these guys up. There we go. There we go. There we go. I don't know if I'm gonna get them both, but we're gonna try.
This sounds kind of fucked.
Nope. Okay, I meant to reload. No! Don't interrupt me, I want to reload. Now I'm gonna hop over here because the Juggernaut is not capable of hopping this kind of an obstacle. And I ought to chop some of these guys up. This weapon has a very high attack speed. That's the first thing I'm noticing about it, is that it's very fast swinging compared to other bladed weapons. Oh, I just want to mash buttons. I don't want to fight strategically. I don't want to... I'm not trying to put effort into playing the game. I just want to mash buttons. There we go. Let's thin these guys out a little bit, actually.
We need backup over here, ASAP.
Oh. What a shame that Fox has 0% interest in providing you backup. A real shame, that. Oh, that's funny. Oh, shut up. That's the end of them, boys. Yep, and this guy's got to scream about something. That's fine. I chopped you now. Get chopped. And you too. And apparently this guy. Those guys in the back must not have heard. Like, it tends to be that the melee weapons are really good in the bounty packs. Not always. They have released some real stinkers of melee weapons. But the melee weapons, they do have a tendency to be pretty good. And on the other hand, the guns are often not too good. Now, once again, there are some exceptions. There are some really good guns. But that tends to be what I've noticed with the bounties. And the reason for that is because the bounties often are really normal guns. You know, like maybe they're a little fancier visually, but the thing that they are making fancier is typically still an ordinary gun. But the melee weapons, they do tend to, most of the time I would say they come out pretty good. One thing I'm a little disappointed by is that they're not adding more. I mean, like, they are adding heavy weapons in, but I feel like they should be trying to go out of their way to add more and more heavy weapons in. You know, like, I don't know, like, what should they have added for Halloween? How about, like, a pitchfork or something? Like a haunted pitchfork, you know, something Halloween-y. Anyways, let's swing by the base, and then we'll hit Cache Beaumont up, and I guess we'll get our handy-dandy influence that we are already capped on, so it won't actually be all that useful. But more importantly, we could say that, woo, we did all the bounties again. Yay! And we did it pretty quickly, too. I mean, I would normally need 2 more kills, but we were fortunate enough that we got some Juggernauts visiting our base, which I'll take it. I had no idea until I actually hit the record button and looked. Okay, so let's, no, we're going to continue using the Magnus monster.
Our reserves are gonna start walking off if we don't build more storage.
And let me thin my inventory out a little bit. We're not going to use this anymore or this. We'll keep these, though. And what we're going to do is try out some of our weapons. Now, I already used the slasher machete, so maybe we won't use Mackie. And I'll switch to my blunt specialist, which is Ladislaw. And so he's currently using... So this weapon's not available anymore, Bilge Rat Shovel. That's too bad, because Bilge Rat Shovel is a really good blunt weapon. So what we want to do now is try to find in this big old list, where is the cricket bat? Oh, we also need the barbed wire bat, so let's bring out the barbed wire bat. And where is the cricket bat at? Hopefully someone isn't using it. There it is, cricket bat. And let me actually pull out some other blunt weapons. Let's compare the stats. That's the first thing I want to do. Compare it to some of these other weapons. Now I'm going to go up here so that some jerk doesn't attack me. Okay, so let's look at the cricket bat. The cricket bat has... the knockdown is good. Okay, so that's the first thing that's telling me that this cricket bat is probably going to be pretty good, is the knockdown is really high. That's important because if your character has striking, once you level it up enough, if you've got about that much knockdown... What am I doing? If you've got about this much knockdown, then you should be able to swat zombies over in one hit. So that sounds promising. So compared to the Bilge Rat Shovel, it does look like it loses out in some of the other areas, like losing out on Dismembered. I don't really care about that. Losing out on Impact, I don't think I care about that. Because honestly, when it comes to Impact, I only care if it's really high or not at all. Like being in the middle or low, that doesn't matter to me. All that matters is really high Impact, because then it can be used as like a Plague Art killing weapon. The Crow's Beak is a very different kind of blunt weapon. The Crow's Beak is kind of like a hybrid bladed blunt weapon, so maybe it's not the best comparison. Bell Club, this is an example of, a weapon with a bit more impact, but honestly, this weapon looks okay, and it looks like it's actually going to be better than the barbed wire bat because, I mean, the barbed wire bat has the advantage of bigger durability, so overall, I feel optimistic about this weapon. Let's go ahead and put it back, though, and we will give it a try. Also, I need some supplies. So give me strong painkillers, give me some stims. I don't want this weapon. Or do I? What weapon am I using? Echo 4, that's a perfectly good weapon. So let me bring out these in case a Juggernaut appears. Let's bring out this, and we'll bring out this, and let's go beat some zombies up, and I guess try this weapon out. Because why not? We still got time in the episode. I'm down for it. So first off, we're going to try the brand new weapon, the cricket bat. Apparently it's a Shaun of the Dead reference. I've never seen that movie, so, like, it's kind of lost on me. As you can see here, like, we're already 2 for 2 on knockdowns. Like I said, I'm very confident that this weapon should be able to knock zombies down in one hit, which is already going to make it a really awesome blunt weapon. But that's one of the things you're really looking for, is knocking enemies over in one hit. Because then you can just easily execute them, and also just lets you beat the crap out of them. It does make this attack right here a little less useful, because the whole point of that attack is to knock over zombies, and the blunt weapons,
Fat bloater here.
And blunt weapons, they already can swing through multiple enemies. That's one of the advantages of the blunt weapons, actually. Oh, we got the crummy execution. There we go. So, one thing about using blunt weapons that's... Oh, I've got one of these jerks here. Okay, so we are going to get some distance. Oh, there's 3 of them. Looks like he nicked me with the end of the attack right there. Now, Ladislaw actually has gunslinging, which means he can make quick work of a lot of enemies. Oh, he's also a powerhouse. Interesting. Yeah, I forgot about that. He's a striking powerhouse. Now, people have commented that, they're like, oh, I don't know how to deal with large amounts of enemies with blunt weapons because, I can't get an execution in. The answer is that you don't try to execute when there's large numbers of enemies, to be honest. Just kind of hit them, and they'll die. Sometimes I'll stomp their heads in like this. But when there's a large number of zombies, you just kind of keep hitting them, and, like, they just die. Much in the same way that if you hit enemies with a bladed weapon, you know, they don't always die in one hit. Sometimes you gotta hit them repeatedly. Same goes with a blunt weapon. And as long as you're swinging, their grappling attacks actually cannot affect you. You can stomp them by just pressing the jump button while they're down near their head. And that's pretty handy just because, you know...
I don't know if we can hold out without help.
Oh, we got a Juggernaut. This weapon used to be really good against Juggernauts, but ever since they adjusted the way Juggernauts take damage from guns, it became a lot less useful. Like, this gun here would just absolutely shred through Juggernauts. So overall, I definitely gotta say that the Shaun of the Dead cricket bat, pretty good. So basically, you know, earlier I was like, oh, that's too bad that the bilge rat shovel is gone. It's actually not too bad, because now you can just use the cricket bat, because this is honestly a pretty good weapon. Very similar to the cricket bat, basically the same thing. Now, I don't know how much it costs, though, because one of the advantages of the cricket bat is that it's really inexpensive. It was only like 200 and some odd influence. Oh, why would you do that? Come on, take a swing. Sometimes the game derps up a little bit, which is frustrating. Now, this is an area where you would want to go for an execution against the armored zombie. Just trying to get them out of the picture. And when you're low on stamina, you don't always have to use a stamina item like in that example there. I could just... Wow. I feel like, I don't know, like if they've made an update where, because like I'm mashing the X button to attack, and sometimes I just kind of sit there doing nothing. So as you can see, like a lot of them are just dying from me swinging at them. Not even directly attempting to kill some of them. They just die over time from you swatting them. Very effective against large numbers of enemies. Very nice. Okay, so let's switch to the barbed wire bat. Try this weapon out. So some people ask, why don't I just use gunslinging all the time? Well, gunslinging isn't as good as the pyro launcher, for starters, since the pyro launcher can kill tremendous quantities of enemies way more ammo efficiently than the pyro launcher, or than the gunslinging. And also, the pyro launcher can stack its ammo a lot better than most weapons. Because, like, even if you're using the Eternal Guard's Infinite Rage, yeah, it does stack a lot of ammo inside of its magazine. If you want to carry more ammo for it, it doesn't apply that way. You can still only carry the ammo in stacks of 30. And you could do way more damage. You can kill way more zombies with the pyro launcher than just shooting them in the head with gunslinging. Now, gunslinging does have the advantage for killing the ferals more efficiently, but it doesn't bother me that much. And I'm not going to carry a separate... Basically, I'm not going to carry a separate gun just to kill ferals and the pyro launcher, and I would much rather be a little less effective against ferals. Oh, I didn't knock that zombie over in one hit. Interesting. So this one is definitely not there, because that actually surprised me. Look at that. More juggernauts. Wow. Juggernauts everywhere. So what we now can say is that this one looks like I would estimate its knockdown is like maybe like 45%. I have no idea what you know, about 40-45%. It looks like that is not enough to assure a one-hit knockdown, even with maximum striking. So, you know, I mean, that doesn't mean this weapon is bad, but I will say that that does mean this weapon is quite a bit less effective as the ones that can knock a zombie over in one hit. So what do we get in place of that? Well, the lethality is quite high. That could be worth it, just because the lethality stat influences the probability of scoring a instant kill with the... So, like, just there, we got a one-hit kill. That's what it would affect. So over here, this is an example where we are going to look for some executions. Like right here, I'm going to take one. And how did I know to take it there? You can just get it. For me, I get a sense for it, but the answer is that once you knock a few of them over, like there's only one there. Even if he interrupts me, I was still able to get through the execution. So once again, right here, I'm gonna take a second one. Oh my god, how much better would Blunt be if all you got was the golf club swing? Right over here. So once again, did not get the one-hit knockdown there.
Damn it. We lost him.
Oh, I think those guys that we did... Oh, it's heartbreaking? No, it isn't. Like, we didn't even know those guys. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? Another Juggernaut. Wow. Or it could be the same one. Maybe it wandered over there. I have no idea. I do know that I want to snipe this guy. Ugh. A muzzle swipe. This weapon is not made to shoot enemies at a very long range. It could certainly do it! Oh, there we go. But that's not what it's good for due to the muzzle sway. Not too bad though. I mean, I think both of these weapons are pretty decent. I mean, they're far better than the blunt weapons you're just going to get in the world, but on the other hand, you know, I definitely think the cricket bat is superior due to the assured knockdown. So let's put these back. I'll put the cricket bat on, and I'll dump all this in there. And what we're going to do now is try out some of the ranged weapons. I think we have time to test out one more gun, and we're going to try out, I don't know, the Uzi. No, let's try, yeah, let's try out the pistol. This is a 45 caliber pistol. It does have room for a weapon attachment, so that's good news. Let's pull a decent amount of ammo out, and I'm going to go ahead and add on a silencer, which unfortunately is at the very bottom of the list. Someone asked, why don't I get rid of some of these weapons? I do periodically sift through them, but honestly, I like to keep a lot of them for making videos, because I never know when I'm going to need a particular weapon. There we go. Add the suppressor. Got plenty of ammo. Might as well repair this while we're here. And I'm going to go ahead and consume another med kit. There we go. So, this weapon doesn't have any firing mode, so it's always semi-automatic. It does not have a scope. The thing on top would be a laser. It's just cosmetic, though. It doesn't actually have a laser.
I could use an assist.
And so, overall, that's probably going to mean this weapon really isn't that good. There's probably really nothing to say. It's basically just a 45 caliber pistol. Like, the aim doesn't even seem particularly unique. Obviously, if I'm using gunslinging, I can, you know, very easily do that. But you can make that argument with pretty much every weapon. Like, just like this, using gunslinging, I'm able to crack-a-lack-a, pop-a-wappa-wappa these guys pretty easily. But what about if I'm not using gunslinging? And keep in mind that I have pretty average accuracy, so it'll be a pretty good idea of what you can expect the typical player to have, because I don't try to maintain my accuracy training, because I don't play any first-person shooters or third-person shooters. That might change when Halo Infinite comes out. There is a good chance I will probably get into competitive shooting games when Halo Infinite comes out. So, and as a byproduct of that, you can expect my aim to improve. But the advantage of having average aim is that it better represents what you can expect if you too have fairly average aim. Because of the... You do have to kind of close the distance. That's one of the things that not having the scope means. Because, like, with a scope, I could probably confirm this kill pretty nicely. But from here, it's... There. You just gotta get that little bit closer. That's why the scope really does. Even a low-powered scope, like on the Echo S1 revolver, the scope isn't really that powerful. But it doesn't matter, because it just lets you really lock in and confirm those short-range kills. Like with this, if I want to get a headshot, yeah, pretty good. Like this is about the range right here. And now, so since this is a 45 caliber weapon, it's like, okay, so it has a bit more power, but the problem is...
More Zeds moving in around here. We might
Oh my god, the third person aim always messes me up there. Like when they're running, for some reason, when they're running straight towards me, it's so hard to land my hits in third person.
Maybe aren't all bad.
So, I mean, this is one of the places where you'd be like, oh my god, it's a Juggernaut. Like, is this where having the 45 caliber ammunition would be an advantage? Maybe, but probably not, to be honest. I don't melee attack him, that's silly. Okay, I mean, let's see if I can take this guy out.
Time to reload.
Now, one of the problems here is that the weapon has a low capacity. That's one of the first issues. So we have to constantly reload. No, why are you doing that? Stop that. I don't want to do that. And that's one of the things right there. So, you know, does the 45 caliber help? Well, I mean, the problem is the enemies that it would help against, you want a weapon with a higher capacity against them. So, like, this isn't really the kind of weapon you'd want to use to begin with. Now, I've shown this technique many, many times, and why you really don't need to be afraid of Juggernauts. I'm not saying that Juggernauts can't mess people up, but, like, in a controlled environment like this, there's really nothing to fear from Juggernauts, simply because they're much too limited of an enemy. That said, they can be really, really a big problem for your AI if they're not properly kitted out. Now, there I did need to dodge, because he can still infect you if he does that kind of ground pound.
Damn thing's gonna fall apart.
But that's what I was worried about, is that we would start suffering some durability loss. And honestly, we still have not caused that much damage to the Juggernaut. Nope. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Juggernauts, but they tend to have trouble turning. And as long as you're running basically perpendicular to them, in kind of like a curving turn like this, they just have a little bit of trouble. They just can't quite zero in on you. Nope. And whenever you see them kind of lean back to do that pound, you do want to make that dodge. And so finally he goes down. But like I said, that's just the point there. Like, you know, was it really worth it to kill? Even though we did kill the Juggernaut with this gun, was it really worth it, you know, based on the ammo that I threw at him? Probably not. And also the weapon needs extensive repairs now, 161 parts for repairs. And so that's why if you listen to my reviews, I'll talk about, you know, like, oh, it's not really an advantage to be 45 caliber. Unless you're a really rapid-fire weapon where you could actually put a ton of bullets into the Juggernaut and then suddenly you'd be able to shred it. Or against a Plague Guard. You'd be able to shred it. Like, would this weapon really be an advantage against a Plague Guard? Probably not. And that's why, in general, the heavier caliber ammos, they're not as good. Because you need a high-capacity weapon with a rapid fire for it to matter. And that's not what this weapon is. So overall, I would this weapon is not going to make it onto the list of, you know, like the good weapons of the Fearsome footage pack. You know, and like I said, I think this test right here clearly demonstrates why. What would make it better would definitely be if it had a scope, if the laser sight actually did something. But another thing that would make it better is if it wasn't 45 caliber, if it was just like 9mm or 22 caliber, but then it wouldn't be the 1911 long slide, it would be a different gun. But that's why this weapon isn't very good. So, there you go. Got to see... Oh, I didn't turn in that item to the bounty broker. I mean, I'll jump cut to it. You're fine. You can see me turn it in. Alright boys, here we are at Cache Beaumont. Let's go ahead and turn this in, and we can officially say we've done them all. So what's left to review? We're not going to review Senor Pokey simply because Senor Pokey's not a particular, it's just a whatever weapon. So we've got the 9mm Uzi and the Spaz we're going to take a look at. That's definitely not going to take up 30 minutes, so I might break out some of the World War II weapons, and as well as that, there's still some Infestation. So like, I'm pretty sure we've got 30 minutes worth of other things to do while we're doing it. But yeah, I'll do one more episode in order to show how these weapons work. I might as well just break out Senor Pokey just to say we've done it. But my prediction is that the 9mm Uzi probably won't be very good, and the Spaz probably won't be anything to, like, write home about. But some of these weapons are actually pretty decent here, like the Danger Dog PPSH is really good. And, oh, let's check the price. So the price of the cricket bat is 150 influence. Are you out of your mind? That's insanely cheap for the quality of the weapon. And honestly, this weapon was pretty good too. And it's only 250 influence. So both of those are really good prices for the quality of the weapon. Look at this. Barbed wire bat is considerably more expensive and also considerably not as good as the cricket bat. So those are really competitive prices. Whereas over here, Danger Dog, pretty expensive, but you only need one of them. You know, one for your personal use. So that's honestly a pretty good weapon. Anyways, there you go. We've unlocked all the items. We got the bounties done. All that's left is to test them out, and then I will be making my review on the good weapons in the Fearsome footage and the World War II pack. I won't always repeat weapons. Basically, just because I said a World War II weapon was good in the original review, that doesn't mean that I can't have further refined an opinion. You know, like, you could come to an idea and then, like, maybe 100 hours later, you have an even farther educated opinion on it. So it could still change. There are items on the list that could get dropped. It's not a guaranteed thing. Anyways, stay tuned for that, though. Wait, what was I going to say? Stay tuned for that at any rate. Whatever. Do the YouTube things and the subscribing and stuff. And of course, remember, stay tuned for more State of Decay 2 content. That's important to say. Always got to say that. Got to remind people that, no, we're still going to be doing more State of Decay stuff. I'll probably start warming up on a fresh start Nightmare Zone once they announce the name of the new difficulty. But, because I haven't done a fresh start in a while, so I'm out of practice from not having my good equipment. But that is going to be that. So do all those things. Going to be more State of Decay content. And of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.